Batman, the caped crusader, the Dark Knight. He defends the weak and the helpless. He fights for truth and justice. And he does it in Winnipeg. In fact, he came to life here in the second-floor studio of George Freeman and Lovern Kindzierski. They're comic book artists, and together they worked on the first story of the Batman Annual. George does all the initial drawing. He starts with pencil sketches, then carefully inks them in. His work is highly respected in the comic world. He's illustrated series like Elric, Jack of Hearts, the now defunct Captain Canuck, and many others. When he had some spare time last year, he asked his agent to find him something he'd always wanted to do, a Batman story.
I specifically asked for Batman because I knew I wanted to do something with the image of Batman that hadn't been done for a few years. And so I just asked for any Batman story, and I knew I could put my image onto any Batman story. But this particular one that I got, I was very surprised with.
Why?
Very pleased.
Why were you pleased?
Because it's Alan Moore who's writing this story, who had written this story. And he's the best in the business, bar none. And I thought that people in New York had captured them all, but this one escaped.
Moore's script, called Mortal Clay, came in the form of a 60-page scenario. It was up to George to divide it into the 135 panels that make up the final comic book story. The Batman character has to be recognizable, but the artist does have the freedom to put his own mark on the superhero.
What I specifically wanted to do with Batman was to recapture that expressionist feeling to him, the feeling that he is a larger-than-life person, that he is a real person, but he projects a larger image.
So when we look at your Batman story, what do we see that says George Freeman? What should we actually look for?
Well, it won't say George Freeman, and because it is based on Dick Sprang and Jerry Paris's Charles Paris's Batman. But you'll see the big, wide shoulder. You'll see the big, blocky head, and the neck, which is in fact wider than the head, which is unlikely, and a big jawline, and a specific mouth, which is just a slash of the brush. That is the Batman. And the big barrel chest, which is basically about this deep and about this wide, and with no detailing in the figure.
After George finishes the drawings, it's Lovern's turn. He does all the coloring. It perhaps sounds simple, but it's a lot more than just filling in between the lines. A colorist can make or break a story.
If I decided to let an artist sort of go on his own and not work, if I colored the pages flat and the artist really wanted to pull up the perspective to make it look real, and I just colored it flat, I could ruin what he was trying to do. And by making one panel on the page stand out, I could take away from another panel that he was trying to make stand out. So, you know, I can help them a lot if I have to.
Batman, who's been around for nearly 50 years, is having a revival. The old TV series is going to make a comeback, and the new annual should be a hot item. For the two Winnipeg comic artists, it was a real thrill to do a Batman story, and it's only whet their appetite for more.
Do you need to do any more Batmans, or have you accomplished what you wanted to do?
Well, I was a little bit surprised at this one because Batman doesn't appear until page 13. And so I actually counted up the number of panels he appeared in, and every panel had to do a specific job because every panel I want to get a specific facet of Batman. I got it in here, but I haven't done much of Commissioner Gordon. I haven't done Robin yet. I haven't done Bat Hound or the Bat Plane or any of the other good stuff.
Oh, so there's lots of stuff left to do.
There's lots, yeah.
Batman may be back to Winnipeg.
I hope.